Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 111 of the Hardly Millennial podcast, where we are young, dumb, and full of
opinions.
Opinions, ladies and gentlemen. Today, you are joined. Witnessing.
We're all joined.
Thomas and Adam, as usual. And then we also have a guest, Jake Carter,
I'm Jake.
with a D.
Yes.
What's going on, Jake? How you doing?
Nothing much. Just enjoying the quarantine life.
Oh,
it's
yes,
nice to
the
have human contact, you know?
What have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
I haven't been busy. No, I've just been busy. I've been sleeping and playing Apex and smoking a lot of weed. Just chilling.
Same.
Dude,
Same
feel
shit.
that.
I bought a bike, actually, a few days ago. So
I saw that.
yeah.
I actually saw that you went riding down Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Strip on a bike.
Yes, it was
Thomas
crazy.
kept suggesting that we get a bike. Thomas
kinda
could be like,
wanted
let's
to.
just go to Target. Let's just get a couple bikes.
They don't have anymore.
Yeah, I saw
They're gone.
Yeah, that was one of the things we had a shortage on, were bikes. We had a shortage on bikes, and I never thought that'd be something we'd have like an issue with.
It's a
Everybody
bike.
need a
Why?
bike. Bikes and toilet paper.
Bikes and toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't get it, man.
It was a weird experience buying a bike from the bike shop, though. Because you had to, I was like, I'll just go to the bike shop. And I got there, and they're like, do you need something? And I was like, yeah, I just want to buy a bike. She's like, oh, you have to order it online and then come pick it up. So I was like, what? And then so I called them, and then they're like, yeah, do this. And then it wasn't working at all. Because it's like, this is available. And then I would try to buy it, and then they'd call me and be like, it's not available. So he's like, I'm just going to stay on the phone and tell me which bike you want. And then I was like, okay. And then I told him, and he's like, okay, now buy it online. And I couldn't buy it online. So it took me like an hour and a
they
half.
had the bike in the store.
Yeah.
But in order for you to get it, you had to buy it online.
Isn't it
and
funny
then go
how
pick
that
it
works?
up.
So he was probably standing there looking at the bike and was like,
no,
can
he
you
was looking
please
at
buy
all
it
the
online?
bikes. He was looking at all of the bikes. Like every single bike in the store, he was looking at all of them, and he didn't think to go, what does it say we have on there? I'll tell you what I have here. He was just like, nope, don't have it. And just like, that was it. I was like,
It's like, bro, you are where the bikes are at.
I know.
You just
You're
look.
looking at them right now. You could touch it, I bet. You could just, there.
That's wild, though. Like, in a time where only essential businesses are supposed to be open, like the bike shops are still operating.
It's a means of transportation, though, technically, for a lot of people who don't have cars and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
you don't think
that's-
about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's not... I feel like that's not really prominent here in the U.S.
Yeah.
But, okay, fair.
But they can they can say it, and they can still be open and make money. So
Yeah, that's true.
Clearly,
That's
people want bikes. So.
yeah. Well, clearly, people, they're all
Yeah.
gone.
Well, that's what drove me crazy, because look, the means of transportation thing makes sense to me. Like, it makes sense, like, oh, I ride my bike to work every day, like I need to fix a tire or what have you. Like, I get that part, but there were people who were going through this quarantine and then decided during the quarantine, I need a bike. That is why the bike shortage is. Yeah, exactly. It's like there were people. It's like, it's quarantine. Okay, what can I need a bike. It's like, well, you don't need a bike. But I don't know. But I know you bought it just because you wanted to ride a bike around.
Yeah,
and maybe
ride
that
around.
was the majority of people. But I wonder if there was a big group of people who bought it because they thought oh, well, what if the cars just stop working next? I need to make sure I can wipe my ass and I can get around if I don't have a car.
Jake, I saw in your story that the cops were escorting you guys down Las
They were really
Vegas Boulevard.
escorting us. We were it was some hooligan stuff. It was fun, but there was just a few people getting a little reckless. So people call and complain, and the cops come and just drive kind of next to you to keep you safe and then check. And then it kind of got a little reckless, and they had to stop us, and they're like, stay in the right lane. Stop swerving in front of cars. We don't want any more calls. You're allowed to be here. We can't do anything, but we just don't want to get calls. So could you just do that for me so we could stop being out here and harassing you guys?
Wait,
And then we didn't
where
see
is
him
this?
again.
On
This
Las
was
Vegas
downtown,
Boulevard.
yeah.
Oh, that's why the cops were there and shit?
Yeah. So it's a whole group. They're called Seven Shit. It's a big wheelie bike gang.
Right.
They 29-inch bikes are a little bigger. And they just wheelie like crazy. If you ever see on YouTube, people swerving on wheelies and stuff.
Right.
That's what they're doing. It was nuts. It was sick.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
So that's why the cops are there, just to make sure people are doing
Yeah, and
weird shit.
there
like
was not
that.
a lot of people on the strip anyway. But
Oh no, we
yeah.
went walking down there. What was it, last week? We went
I don't
walking
know,
down
like
there
a week or two ago.
Yeah, and
Time's
like
irrelevant.
it just like it was just it was just strange right now with just hardly any people out there. I was wild. I didn't. It's just,
empty,
like I said, it was
man.
ominous. It was wild to me.
Yeah, and Jake, you grew up here. Like, this must be even like crazier for you. I'm sure you
Dude, seeing
never
the
could have
whole-
imagined this.
Seeing the whole strip in construction and like being there when there was like nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm riding down the art district and there's nobody there, like where those lights are, you know, like for First Friday, the art district,
Yeah.
all that spot. But there's nobody there on First Friday, so it was just like I remember going there and just seeing like all the streets were like full of like vendors and people going everywhere and like doing a bunch of stuff, and I was just like, it's empty right here right now. It's like a ghost town. Like
Yeah.
Wait, they
straight
do,
I Am Legend.
is First Friday like
They
That's
do
a
two
thing here?
They do they
Really?
do two spots. They do
Is
like
that a
the
thing in
downtown
every state?
spot.
I don't know,
Yeah.
and I don't know every state. Definitely, like wherever there's like
I
you
guess
know a
or
scene.
cities, I guess.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
metropolises,
every
but-
city has like their own little like art district. I'm sure it's pretty common to do a First Friday in like the art
Well,
center of the city.
Well, no, I figured that every like state or city had like some kind of art thing that they did. I just didn't realize the actual like doing it the first Friday of every month was like a regular thing that people were doing.
I don't know. They did
Or
a
the
thing
regular
in
art
South
community
Carolina
thing.
too.
First Fridays?
Yeah, they
Oh,
used
really?
to do a thing like on Broadway and Myrtle Beach.
Well, shit. There you go.
Well, everywhere has First Friday, coast to coast.
Somebody's
In
got-
some way, shape, or form.
So a little story about before the podcast. Not an exciting story, but
Great, we're all
just
ears.
just to like call you like hype that shit up. So when Jake walked in, Jake was wearing a Nickelodeon shirt that you could see if you're watching the podcast, and then I looked over and saw Thomas was wearing a Nickelodeon shirt.
Mine's Rocket Power.
And I was wearing a boring old white fucking sweatshirt. I was like, well, clearly I need my Nickelodeon
No,
shirt
I love
too.
more than anything because it was not just a plain white sweatshirt. It said Cirque du Soleil on the back. So I love that you were doing a podcast with two people who work for Cirque du Soleil.
And I was going to be the only one wearing a Cirque du Soleil t-shirt.
Yeah.
I don't even think I have anything Cirque du Soleil on. I left all my stuff at work.
I do. I wish I took my robe with me. Like we have like those
I
long
know.
black robes. I wish I had that
Bro,
with me.
my longboard is there.
Oh, is it still there?
My robe is there.
Oh shoot.
I have an extra charger that's still there.
I actually have your charger. You should remind me again too. Yeah, Mike. You can thank Jafar for that one.
Hey.
Because he was like,
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, grab Jake's charger, and next time you see him, like give it to him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sam has my like vibrating ball. He's my vibrator.
No. Your vibrator.
Yeah. That thing's intense, man. I could use that now. I'm like so like out of shape and stiff from laying in bed for like 3 months.
Now, like when the quarantine happened, you were also out for an ankle injury, like myself. Like, how
Yeah,
are you
it was
doing
my
with
foot,
that?
my bottom of my foot, my tendonitis swelled up, and I couldn't go back for
shoot.
like 2 days, and then it had just happened that weekend that I probably could have gone back to shows. It was like, no more shows, stay home, wash your hands.
I went back for one day.
Yeah, you went back for cues.
1 day, 2 shows, and then that got laid off.
That's crazy.
Yep. Weird how things happen. And now it's not looking like we're gonna go back until end of summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you guys heard any more news about that kind of stuff?
I've just heard they're not selling any tickets for June now.
Yeah,
So
I've heard
we're
more about
definitely-
Mirage. MGM and like
MGM.
Mirage and stuff, talking about like their shows and stuff. I think MGM said they weren't gonna foresee any like concerts or like shows or anything until the end of this year.
I just know they took the sales for the tickets off
Till June,
completely for
yeah.
June. So we're for sure not selling tickets for June. So even if we go back in June, it'll probably just be for like trainings or something.
Yep. Well, we're gonna have to do like a whole refresh.
Yeah.
Just like Dawes keeps saying, he's like, we're gonna have to do a whole refresh. We're gonna have to go in. Everyone's gonna have to do your fitness eval. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to do.
It's gonna be a
everything.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This This is why I usually don't smoke weed before the podcast, because then I get high and I'm just like saying, like, you guys are talking and I'm just sitting here like, oh, just like,
You got it, man. I believe in you.
and then like it came, and then when you guys were done, it's like it came to my head. I'm like, I have to say something now. Like I have to contribute to this conversation in some way, shape, or form.
Fuck, look intelligent.
But that's exactly how it is. And then it's always funny because like I've done this podcast high many times, but like I usually try not to do it high because every single time I do it, it's the same thing with me with like drinking and smoking at the same time. Can't do it both because I'll just get nauseous, be throwing up everywhere. Can't make it happen. Mm-hmm. But every fucking time I get drunk or high and the other's there, I'm always like, you know what? I could probably do it this time. I could probably make it happen this time, and I never fucking can.
That optimistic thinking.
Yeah, but it happens to be with the podcast too. Like there are so many times it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a little snap, just a little snap from a bowl for this podcast, and then I get on the podcast, and there'll be somebody across from me talking to me. Especially the one-on-one ones are the worst because they'll be sitting across talking to me, and I'm just like,
the words are just bouncing off your forehead.
yeah, exactly. And let me tell you, dude, I love you all to death, but I have some friends that can just fucking talk, and they can just talk about nothing for hours, and I love them for it. But when I am high and like you're telling me about like conspiracies or some shit like that, like I'm not somebody who can respond to those things. I just take it in, and I'm just like, yeah, man, the reptilians.
Yeah,
they fucking run everything. I'm not even gonna argue with you. You're right. Like every fucking time. But anyways, the whole point of that explanation was just to explain that I do not remember what I was going to say.
Well, you're definitely not going to remember now.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he'll come back to it. In 5 more minutes, he's going to be like, oh, yeah, so guys. But he's not going to say a word to it either. He's just going to sit and look at the mic.
And Jake, I lied to you earlier. I'm going to need you to push your mic a little further away from you.
See, I'm loud.
Yeah, you know what? See, this is okay. So here's another thing that happens with podcasts, because this is one of the harder lessons I had to learn with podcasting, is everybody fucking talks differently.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when you tell people to test the microphone, nobody ever speaks the way that they usually do. Mm-hmm. So like I had Vince on once, you know Vince, a good friend from back home, on this podcast before. Hello, Vince, I love you, but I'm about to call you out on this really quick. So Vince and Justin, I'm calling you out on this too. So both of these gentlemen would get onto the podcast, and then before we set up everything, I do exactly what I do with you guys, and I'd say, okay, we're gonna do a sound test, and they go, okay. So I'd press record, and I'd say, okay, go on and talk. Justin, you first, then Vince. And they'd just be like, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing the microphone. Go to the next one, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing the microphone. Okay, great. So now I'm fucking with the levels. And I'm like, all right, so this is about where they talk. And I'll even tell them to have normal conversation. And they'll be like, hello, how are you today? Oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. And then we'll get to the podcast, and I'll press record, like, hey guys, welcome to the Hardly Millennial podcast. I have my buddy Vince with me today. And they go, woo! Yeah! Yes! Podcast! And every fucking time. And then I'm sitting here doing the exact same thing I just did with you. I'm like, all right, pull it back. We're going to pull it back a little bit. And then it always happens. Once I pull it back, they'll be like, whoa, okay, so how's everyone doing today?
Yeah, then you can't hear.
And it made me appreciate people who are actually like sound engineers, and the people that, like, anybody who has a professional podcast where they make money off of it always has somebody who's sitting there behind the boards and shit.
Making sure everything's good.
Exactly. That's exactly why they're there. So that if I want to scream, they can be like, whoa, Adam, just like that, you know?
Let me bring that down.
Whereas I always just have to be like, hey, look, I'm about to get loud, about to get soft, about to get loud. But fuck. Sorry, I've just ranted twice now.
Oh, you're good, bro. Do you remember what you were going to talk about?
I do not. Oh, fuck.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. Getting through this quarantine, though. I'm really hoping, like, there's even that's the frustrating thing is even if they open the city back up, it's not like we're all going back to work right away.
Yeah.
So then even if the city opens back
Oh
up.
my God, that's what I was going to ask. Okay.
Wow.
So,
Coming in hot, bro. I'm going to need you to wheel that back.
Headphones
I
almost
just
flew off your head.
Ooh, one step back. We're going to take a breath and then we will proceed.
okay. Hold up. All right, so thank you
About
for that.
10%
You helped
off
me. So the question I was going to ask is, well, since it's May the 4th, may the 4th be with you, by the way, but since it's May the
shit.
4th, and there were talks about Vegas opening up on the 1st, has anything like that happened yet? Do you guys know if any bars have happened or opened?
The city's opening in phases. So it's like phase 1, phase 2, blah, 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 blah. And it's on
that's
the
right, yeah.
discrepancy of the government on when to open, like when it's okay to start the other phase. So right now we're at phase 0. So like,
We're not doing anything right
yeah.
now.
Well,
They're not
golf is open back up. You can go into some stores. Dispensaries are doing like curbside pickup
Yeah, I
now
heard
and everything.
that.
So it's like the restrictions just got a little looser for the companies,
Yeah.
the essential companies that are open. So it's easier to
do
go to
things that we did
essential.
before. Yeah.
But I heard we're not really going to start seeing any real like openings like on the strip until like May 15th.
Yeah.
Is what they're saying.
And it's gonna be little by little.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
so
2,
small.
3 people per table, and they have like the shields they just got for all the blackjack tables and everything. So
I wonder if those things are going to go away. Like, I feel like this is one of those things where, because like we've seen them on fast food.
Like, is it going to be the
drive-through
new
stuff.
TSA?
Well, not so much the new TSA, but just people in history shows us that when we do things like that, put things up like that, and then we're always like, oh, it's temporary, and then it just never comes back down. Like the Patriot Act was supposed to be something that was temporary because we were, under attack. I don't know why I did quotes. We were under attack, but then obviously they never like discontinued it. It still goes on till this day.
That's what I mean. Is
So-
like even though we're not having nearly the threat of terrorist attacks that we were, that security never went away.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean.
So I wonder if
like,
all
is it
black...
going to be like the TSA, where we're just always now going to have these guards up, and we're always going to have these
yeah, in those regards,
disinfectant
yeah.
stations? And do you have a virus? Are people in? I don't even think we're necessarily going to need that stuff, but now people are just going to be so afraid.
Yeah.
And now they're just going to be like, I need to feel safe.
I think people were like so afraid for so long, and now people are getting just pissed off that they're at home the whole time. People are getting depressed. Like,
Well, the problem is too. There's more and more information that's coming out about stuff too that's really pissing people off.
Yeah.
And the big one recently, and it's funny because my aunt and my uncle are both a doctor and a nurse, right? And like I think it's safe to say like higher tier doctor and nurses, right? Like
I mean,
like surgical doctors.
They've been
and shit
doing
like
it a
that,
very
yeah.
long time, and
But-
they're pretty good at it.
But anyways, I was speaking to my aunt the other day, and somebody who's in the heart of all the medical stuff that's happening right now, and she was telling me that, well, she told me a couple things. One, she used this analogy. So you said if somebody comes in and they fell off a tree, and they come into the hospital and they die in the hospital because they fell off the tree, but they had coronavirus, they're supposed to call it a coronavirus death. Yeah. So now you're getting this false information in regards to the death rate of this thing. And then that brought her to her next point where she was talking about a doctor friend of theirs. This, I don't know his first name, but it was Dr. Erickson, and how he made a YouTube video basically explaining this. And he even says in the YouTube video at one point that I am not paid by the government, and I am telling you we are overreacting to this. And YouTube took it down. Yeah. As a means of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, didn't meet their
And that's very
terms of service,
and that's very public information, guys. You can look that up.
Well, it was funny that I had this conversation with my aunt because it was like 2 days later where I think Fox News was reporting on it.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, here's this video that was taken down for literally no reason. The only reason you can like give that, like, and if you go back to watch the video, it's just him sitting there talking.
It just went against the narrative they were trying to sell. So
exactly.
nixed it.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, Felicia.
But now that's why people are getting so angry. And so people who were getting angry at the protesters for protesting, it's like, don't get me wrong, there's some of them that are just complete idiots. There always is going to be. But at the same time, can you blame some of them when they have bills that they have to pay, and now you have information like this coming out of these doctors who are not paid by the government, who do not work for the government, saying that this is bullshit? Like, you can't blame them.
And just even just going into the hospital at all right now, because it's a hospital. It's where sick people go. It's where the coronavirus is like living.
Yeah.
So you go to the hospital because you're scared that you might have it.
And then you get
if you say, I think I have coronavirus, they put you in a tent with a bunch of people who said, I think I have coronavirus, who haven't been tested either.
Yeah.
So you're just in this. It's not like, okay, we're going to put you in a room by yourself and test you. And it's just like, all right, go in there with all the people who said that too. So it's like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
People are going in.
So it just doesn't
with
make sense.
Yeah.
At that
People are going
point.
in with like a fever from something else, and then coming out with coronavirus
Because they got infected while they were in there.
Well,
getting
and this
tested for coronavirus.
and this explains one of the things that the CDC came out in regards to the symptoms also, because it used to be, well, I guess it still is, but the whole scary thing about this virus was the fact that it seemed to affect everybody differently, you know? And I even read stories of like young couples, young married couples talking about how her husband got coronavirus and got like extremely sick and nauseous and died like a few days later. And she got it and had a mild cough and a headache.
Yeah.
But then I'm sitting there going like, that's so strange. Well, now that this information has come out, that we're just told to call any death corona if they had corona during the death. It's like, okay, well, that's probably not what he died from then,
well,
right?
I
Or
always
his
like to
other
remind
symptoms.
people too, though, since in the last 4 months, more people have died from the common flu than have died from coronavirus. And I don't hear any freaking out about that.
Well, the argument with that though, because
I've always heard. I've always heard that like they say that corona can like climb really fast, and like that's the concern about it. But my thing is like, you know, people keep pushing in your face the death rate. Well, the common flu is causing more as far as the death rate goes.
right? But the argument, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But the argument towards that, and the reason why that can't be a basis of arguing right now, is because the argument is, well, we have the statistics of what the flu does over a year. We don't have that for corona yet.
Yeah.
So when we reach a year with corona or whatever they dub a year is, and then you're able to calculate the death rate at that point, then we can use that argument if it ends up being lower than the flu.
Yeah.
Well, they were saying Vegas. Well, they're saying Vegas already hit their peak, but they were saying Vegas has had it since CES. When CES was in town, they were saying it was all over CES.
When was CES in town?
December, something like that.
What is CES?
CES is like a big.
Oh, is that like a festival?
It's like a festival for tech stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so like Intel, Xbox, like all those people go.
There were a couple places I remember coming out saying they think they had it earlier too. There was even an instance with me back in January and my roommates where, you know, and like I said, I don't want to be presumptuous here, but I'm just saying it's a little strange, you know, because I ended up developing some breathing issues at the time. And then I was also doing this thing where like I was getting like the chills on and off. I was getting a fever on and off, you know, and at that point, you know, the only thing I could think of was, you know, just severe anxiety, depression, whatever, you know, just that manifesting to something physical. And it very may well could have been, but at the same time, I was going through that. I was going to the emergency room only to be told, like, it looks like acute bronchitis. It looks like, mind you. And this was before people were looking for things for COVID.
Yeah.
And then my roommate, I remember, had like this weird spiel for like 3-4 days where he got a super sore throat and like he was coughing a lot. And then, of course, his boyfriend got it. And then another roommate got it. So all of a sudden, we're all, and don't get me wrong, our symptoms were all a little different from each other, but we all were having this weird fever, breathing, like throat issue. And I can't help but to think like, well, this was just a month before. Is it possible that maybe we all got it?
I mean, it's always possible, but didn't you have a blood test done as well?
No.
No, you never had
No
a blood test done?
I had
Okay.
I had I think a urine sample taken, and then I had a chest X-ray. That's what I was looking for.
Oh yeah, you might.
know.
Yeah, I mean, it's always possible.
Yeah,
Very
so,
possible.
I mean, they can't really tell exactly when it was spread.
Yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
It's all just speculation. That's what I hate about what
Anybody who tries to argue like they know what's going on.
because nobody knows shit right now. Everyone's just guessing.
What if it's just the flu and one person in China was like, "You want to fuck with the world today?"
Right? Well, you gotta think, and sometimes I just think like, was this all just a big fucking joke, just a big hoax?
Well, isn't that like the conspiracy right now that it came from like a lab in China and they purposely released it to taint the
I
world's
heard that one.
economy? And, like that's
so many
literally a
conspiracy
theory
theories.
It
right
came
now.
from the.
Yeah.
It was still like Wuhan. It was like the Wuhan Lab Institute. Like somebody said they were
like working on the
working on
coronavirus, on
coronavirus or
mutations of
something,
it and
yeah.
shit. Yeah, I've heard it all at this point.
Yeah, or
We've all heard.
North
Everybody's
Korea
an
did it.
expert when you talk to somebody.
Oh yeah, and
It's
Michael
like,
Moore will make a fucking
yeah.
documentary about it in like 2 years.
there's already coronavirus explained on Netflix.
We were just talking about that. We were like,
they already-
Thomas even said, he was like, "How did they do it so fast?"
Like it's
bad.
already out.
Well, even like, when was it? Like a couple months ago, they came out with like viruses or something, and it was like already kind of a picture of like the COVID one. We were in quarantine, but it was just like so fast. It was like as soon as we hit quarantine.
Yeah, they did
it was,
one on like
viruses.
pandemics or something.
Yeah, pandemic.
Yeah.
I was like, no way.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden this happened.
I do always. It is always strange to me how quickly that happens with some of these documentaries and stuff.
Yeah.
There's been instances like this with documentaries throughout.
I got some funny conspiracies about this.
Do you? Okay.
Okay.
So, go on.
No, you go ahead. I just got to
Okay,
think
well,
of them.
the only one I was thinking of was like there was another documentary I remember like all of a sudden there was just a movie made about it, and it was actually back when we were younger. So Thomas and I are from Arizona, so there's always big debate about the border patrol and everything down there and immigration. And at the time that was a big hot issue, and what a lot of people were saying is like, imagine life without Mexicans. Remember? That was like a thing, like about, without
and
the
then
workers,
they made a
without what
movie
they do.
about it.
And they made a movie called Life
Yeah.
Without a Man, and it was like I felt like
A
I
Day
heard
Without a
about
Mexican.
that.
Yeah, a day without
A Day Without a
So
Mexican.
I felt like I heard about it, and then all of a sudden it was like there was a
movie,
documentary
yeah.
about it, you know, and I know I've felt that way about many documentaries through the past.
I want to hear Jake's conspiracy.
Yeah, what's your conspiracies?
Well, there's one. What's his name? There's a song called "The Ends" by Tracy.
Tracy?
Travis Scott. Sorry, Travis Scott's song "The End." Mm-hmm. The starting lyrics is 2020, but I can't see nobody. One eye open, Illuminati. This might be the verse that make them drop me.
When did that come out?
2016.
See,
Oh my God.
it kills me when people want to talk shit about those of us who believe in this Illuminati bullshit, and then all of a sudden you see shit like that, and I'm like,
Some girl posted it on TikTok, and I was like, "Fuck, it makes sense."
Oh, bro, Adam hit me with the Mandela Effect.
have you heard about the Mandela
Yeah.
effect?
Oh my gosh.
Do you know
the
how
one that
deep
got
it
me?
goes, though? Do you know how deep?
I haven't
Mandela
gotten deep
effect.
into
The
it.
one, all right. So let me ask you this, because this is the one Adam said to me. This one got me. So how do you spell Looney Tunes? Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes?
Yeah. How do you spell?
I'm
Looney
dyslexic.
Tunes? Oh yeah.
I
Oh
can
yeah.
spell Looney Tunes if you
Oh
want.
yeah. But do you do you remember it being spelled with like TOONNY? Do you remember it being spelled like that? Looney Tunes?
No.
Or NS, I mean TOONS tunes.
I think two N's. No, two. Yeah, two N's. Whatever you said the first one.
No, was
Two
it?
O's.
Two O's. Yeah.
Two O's, yeah. Two O's. That's
Like-
how
like
I remember
cartoon,
it. That's
right?
how
Yeah.
I remember it being spelled.
Yeah, like Looney
but
Tunes.
everywhere you look, it's spelled TUNES.
Yep.
Like music
And-
tunes.
And like he said that to me, and he pointed that out to me, and I started looking up everywhere. I was like, no, it's spelled TOON.
Bro, just like the
I was
Hunger
so
Games movie.
convinced.
The
when
what?
the Hunger Games movie. When I first watched it, someone steps off the platform and like blows up and dies because he steps off early.
Yeah.
But it's not there.
I've heard about that one before too. Yeah.
No,
It's not there.
it's not there.
Go watch it. It's not there.
No, why?
It's
Oh my
I don't
gosh,
know.
that's
It's not
another
there.
You're right, because I'm like thinking back now, and I remember that part in the movie. I
Yeah,
was
they
like,
all look at each
I
other.
watched the movie a
A
lot,
guy steps
yeah.
off, boom, because the time didn't go off.
Dude, another one, the Statue of Liberty.
Really quick.
Sorry.
For those who don't know what the Mandela Effect is,
Do yourself a
listen to
favor and
this.
Google
yeah.
it.
Yeah, Google it. But the term comes from the term comes from Nelson Mandela because he was released from prison, or he died of natural causes, I think, in like 2013, right? But people swore that he died in jail in the 80s. So that's where this came from. So everybody's like, wait. No. He didn't just die. He died in the 80s, right? So then all of a sudden people started to bring up these inconsistencies, like the children's books, The Bernstein Bears is actually, well, it's the Bernstein Bear.
Bernstein Bears.
There you
It's a
go.
Bernstein.
There you go.
Yeah.
But it's the Bernstein Bears with an A rather than an E. So that was another inconsistency. And then the Looney Tunes one. And then so these theories started to come up of like, well, what if consciousness or the universe ended in 2012 and we just jumped to a parallel universe and we're just seeing these little inconsistencies because we originally started in another universe that was our own. So now everything in this universe is basically the same except for these little things.
Little
And then Tom is
glitches.
about to hit you with this Statue of Liberty.
That one got me
point.
too. This one, the Statue of Liberty. So yeah, you've looked this up.
Yeah.
So what was it? So it looks like the Statue of Liberty should have been on Ellis Island, right? That's the one everyone thinks it's on Ellis Island.
Yes.
And it's not on Ellis Island, but it looks like there was an area where it stood.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's just a giant platform.
it's
It makes
not-
no sense for it to be there.
It's not that it looks like there's an area where it should be. There are people that swear
they saw
went
it
to
there.
the Statue of Liberty and they have pictures. But now if you look at these pictures, the Statue of Liberty is missing. But there's a bunch of people gathered around looking at something that's not there.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
Yeah.
You can actually see pictures of people are literally taking pictures and there's nothing there. It's like, why?
Those people are just the biggest trolls. They have like a big group of
Right,
friends.
right. They
They're like,
gotta
dude,
be.
you remember that platform they were gonna put the Statue of Liberty on, but found a way better one? Let's go pretend to look at it.
It's like their version
I could
of
see
the
a bunch of
meme,
people
man.
doing
Like,
that.
trolling.
Could you-
They're just trolling
Could
everyone.
you imagine?
But fuck, yeah, this was a Twitter post that somebody made that I like read one day and it just fucked me up. But that was the whole theory, is like when everybody said when the Mayans said that the world was going to end in 2012, what they actually meant was this, and we were just jumping consciousness. And now you can see this, it goes in super deep, but
It blew my mind.
The world is weird.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the some of those conspiracy theories, man, you get deep into them.
I know,
It'll mess with your head.
They do, and you're like, oh shit, I need to stop.
It's like I
Like I
go
kept
breathe some
listening to
fresh
that
air.
Travis Scott song, and I was just like, it sounds so funny because I know in 2016 everyone was like, oh, 2020 vision, but I can't see anybody because I'm so high up. I'm in the Illuminati, and then 2020 hits and everyone's quarantined. Oh, and the other coincidence. Last June, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Siege got released.
Oh,
What's the name of it?
Rainbow Gospel.
Rainbow Siege.
Or no, what are you talking about?
Rainbow Siege.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Quarantine.
Clancy and my brain went to Midnight Gospel.
It's called Quarantine. The one coming out this year. They released the name of it last year.
oh,
in
it's
like
called
June.
Quarantine.
It's called Tom Clancy's Rainbow Quarantine.
Rainbow Quarantine.
Siege Quarantine or something like that. Yeah.
How interesting. Is it? See, and I always have to wonder.
I think that's what my roommate
like,
told me.
Like, is this
I didn't look it up.
coincidence? Is this like the thing of like humans will always find a face in random objects type of deal? Or is there
maybe.
really, something going on under the or behind the curtain here?
You never know.
There could be some guy in a pyramid.
Jake is now making the Illuminati symbol. When I first saw that, so I first learned about the Illuminati when I was watching, it was a YouTube documentary.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people may have seen this one, but there was no talking in it. It was all just like words that popped up on the screen.
Is it called like zygotes or?
No, it was maybe one of the like later ones, but I remember the one I watched, the creator of it was like, it was like Far Age 119 or something like that, like something super random like that. But it was like this 11-part series. Each one was like, we're going to focus on rap songs on this one. We're going to focus on how they Photoshop their music videos. Then we're going to focus on this. And I watched all 11 videos, and each one's like 20, 25 minutes long. And it just blew my mind. And it was just showing all the... Didn't you watch this?
I think I
Like
did.
years ago?
Yeah, years and years and years
But
ago.
it showed, but it would like play like what you were talking about with Travis Scott. It would play different songs, and then it would take out different lyrics from that song about how it's talking about a new world order, about the Illuminati. I remember there was a
Oh, that's right. I
point on
remember
there where
that.
they were analyzing Rihanna's Umbrella song, the music video, and there's like a weird flash in there where she has her like head bent and her arms up, and the way that it looks on the music video is it looks like the devil, like there's a snout, which is her head, and then the arms are like the horns.
Now, some of the stuff they said in there, though, it really does reach. Some of it,
Yeah.
some of it
sure.
really
Yeah.
reaches for it.
any conspiracy.
They're
theory,
like,
there's
wow,
reaching.
look at like her pose here. Here she, because I remember exactly that video you're talking about. I remember exactly them like framing her out and was like, look, here she is now
Yeah, they went
surrendering
through-
her soul, and this is her, giving up everything here, and this is part of the ritual. And I was just like, it was at that point I was like, okay.
Well,
like,
see, and
I think you guys are just like trying to read into this now.
Reaching it a little too far.
True.
Yeah.
But like, in fairness, though, the thing they had mentioned before that I thought was interesting was you had a guy that was going on there and pointing out why it's like impossible for somebody to get into this kind of like position or whatnot. And they were now, I'm not saying he was correct by any means. I'm just saying like they explained it to that extent that just like blew my fucking mind.
I know
when
a lot
was
of people that
21.
can get into some weird ass positions.
I guess that's true. When you have people in the circus, it's like, yeah, well, I know people who can fit into a fucking, 2x2 box.
Yeah.
So
Some people just bend their bodies in weird ways just to see if they can.
Some people just sit on their heads in the. What you
see
doing?
some
Just
weird
sitting on
stuff.
my head.
You're
but
thinking Sarah Knauer, huh?
Yeah. She'll just sit there
She's
and
so
you'll be
bendy.
like, how do you do that? She'll like sit like this and her legs will be like in a circle around her or something.
Oh, yeah, and she always has the biggest smile on her face.
She's like,
She's just like, I'm so happy to be here.
I know.
that shit always creeps me out a little bit with contortionists. I'm just always like, I feel like your body just is not allowed to do this. I feel like you are pushing the envelope.
To your organs.
I mean, when
Pushing your organs
you
to
think
your ass.
your tendons and your ligaments and stuff, they're basically just rubber bands. You keep stretching them little by little. If you do it right, you go about it the right way. But yeah, like all those contortionists, like they just stretch.
Yeah.
They'll sit in a split for hours and hours on end. Sarah Knauer has told me, she goes, if I'm not crying from stretching, I'm not doing it right.
Yeah.
That is what
Damn.
she says.
Let me tell you, I fucking hate stretching. I
too.
fucking hate it.
I remember competing TNT and seeing all like the Arrhythmic and like acro
Mm.
girls and just watching them just fold in half on top of their pyramid, just like, oh, we'd be like, all the tumblers and trampolines would just sit there and be like, where are their organs going? They're in half. Like, what is happening to them?
Bro, like my 200-pound coach used to like lay on my back and push my chest to the floor in a pancake. Dude, it was that brutal.
Yeah,
The worst is on
I-
the wall with your butt on the wall on the panel mat.
Oh yeah,
On
that
your
one
feet.
too. Well, we never did the panel mat, but I always had
Really?
ankle weights.
No, we did
Like-
panel mat, and then your coach would just.
Oh, that's a good one.
You can thank Nailani right over there for that.
We just found out his old coach like apparently lives just across the way from us.
Like in the
remember,
same-
remember,
like
I
in the
saw
same
her running.
complex?
What?
In the same
No,
complex?
the
as
one
us?
right across.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
oh.
Yeah.
Literally, I was like, am I about to pull in? And I was like, oh, no, it's the next turn in.
Because I saw her running one day, and I was like, I think that's Nalani. Hi.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember you pointing that out. Somebody was walking, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I think I work with them." We were also at like a.
them, but like I knew her.
I just know
Yeah.
her. And then there was like a. Oh, that's right, because you knew her through gymnastics,
Yeah,
right? Not
'cause,
through
like,
Cirque.
Yeah, because we would coach at regionals and stuff. That was like usually the most interaction I had with her was at regionals because she would always be coaching, and she coached him, and she coached this other kid, Meyer Cole, who was really good.
He went to
But yeah.
Michigan. He was cool. She's a beast maker.
Yeah,
That's what she is.
she's a really good coach. She's one of those few female coaches that can coach men.
She hates coaching women.
Does she really?
She hates it.
I've heard that from a lot of coaches. Like, that,
Isn't that funny how like women just hate women? Like I see that
a lot.
so much.
There's
like
a lot more camaraderie with men, I feel like, than women.
well, and I feel like any guy growing up, like we all had that girl that was like in our group, right? There was always like a girl that like hung out with all the guys, you know. And then the other ones, there are always ones that are like, I just get every single girl I've ever met, I think has uttered this at least once to me. I just get along with guys so much better than girls.
Yep.
Sorry if that makes me misogynistic, but you fucking say it.
Then stop telling us things you don't want us to repeat. Simple.
But then it's just funny because then I hear things like this female coach, you know, is like, fuck coaching women, man. like they're fucking awful.
They're the worst. The parents are the worst. They're like, oh my gosh, crazy gym moms.
Oh, gym moms.
If there's any crazy gym moms on this
We were just talking
podcast
to you
right
about
now?
that a little bit. We were specifically talking about cheerleading moms.
Oh my gosh.
But
Cheer and dance moms. Oh.
If you've ever worked as a coach, yeah.
I'm sure you get plenty of that.
Oh, especially
stuff.
when you were like in like rec centers here,
Yeah.
you get the parents who like think their kids are going to the Olympics. They're like 13 in a rec class, can't walk on the balance beam yet. So then you give them free time and they complain. He needs to take it seriously. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
doesn't.
He's going to be a champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so wait, did you do it? Were you a coach also at some
I
point? with
kind of
gymnastics,
coached.
or-
I hate coaching.
Oh, okay.
I'm too ADD to coach.
Very different from you in
Yeah.
those regards.
I was
Thomas.
not a fan of coaching either. I wanted to get
Oh,
out of
no?
it.
Yeah.
I was good at coaching.
I was gonna say,
That's
yeah,
why I
you did
always
it for
told
fun.
people,
wasn't
I
even
had
good
a
at
few
it.
kids I liked, but like for the most part, you know, dealing with the parents was probably the worst. You know, like you just get parents that don't understand what you're doing. Or
Well,
how you're
that's what I
working with
was
the
going
kid.
to ask. I was just curious about how many parents you come across who are trying to live like through their kid.
Oh, too often.
Really?
Too often.
All
All the time.
That frequent.
It's that bad. It's either all right. So I get the parents that I like, and usually I end up liking their kids too, are the ones that are like, you know, I just want him to have fun, enjoy himself, like, you know, do well, like, you know, the supportive parents, but you know, also the ones that don't just like coddle their kid, you know, all the time when their kid cries, you know, the ones that are just like, yeah, if he gets hurt, like he'll get up, he'll get better, you know. I like those. Those are the parents I liked, and I got like very few of those. And then I would get the parents that, then you get the parents that want their kid, they want you to raise their kid, basically.
Yep.
Teach my kid manners, watch him like a few times a week, basically just get him out of my hair for a bit, and then make him polite for me too. Oh, and then get him in shape for me as well.
And those
Like,
are all
they
the
want
kids
you
that
do
come to
it.
summer camp.
Oh, yeah. Like the circuit,
The
they're like
demons.
Yep, then they throw him into summer camp. They want him to be there, and the kid does not want to do gymnastics
No,
at all.
Hates gymnastics.
Yeah, he hates it, but they're like, it'll get him in shape. And it's like, why don't you, you know, help him eat better? And why don't you, like, spend more time with him and why don't you
So-
teach him how to, like, talk right?
So would these parents though openly say these kind of things to you of it would, you know, Thomas, it would be nicer if he was more polite to us.
Here's what they would tell me. They'd go, since he started working with you, he's extremely polite and well-mannered now. And I'm like, okay, so why wasn't he like that before? You spend much more time with him than I do. I get him for 6 hours a week.
Right?
Like, you've got him for the rest of the time. So why is it
got
he
him for his
didn't
whole life.
start becoming more well-mannered until he started working with me? Then you got to ask that question. I had one parent that used to bribe their kid to get him to do everything. Anytime like he would come out of gymnastics, and I usually walk out and talk with the parents afterwards. I had one parent that would always be like, okay, so did he do a good job? And I'd be like, yeah, he did a great job today. Okay, well, I will buy you an ice cream then on the way home, because that was their deal. The only way he would behave is if she would buy him ice cream afterwards.
Right.
So that's my whole thing. I'm like, well, then he's not behaving because it's the right thing to do. He's behaving because he knows
wants
he's
ice
going to get
cream.
ice cream after. Yeah, so then that irritated me all the time. And I see that outright, and I'm like, well, do you not see the problem with
Yeah.
this? So then, yeah, you get those parents. And then you get the parents that are like, I don't care if my kid likes this or not. Like, he's going to be great.
He's
Because
gonna be a
I couldn't
star.
be great, so he's going to be a star. So those are the three type of parents. You got the ones that just want you to babysit, take care of them, and teach them everything. And then you got like the parents that just what did I say?
They just want them to be superstars and get a scholarship. They don't
Yeah.
care. If they don't
Superstar.
like
There was a third
gymnastics.
one though. What was the third one?
Well,
It
then
was
that
like
was
they
the
want
good
you to
ones.
teach them manners or something.
Yeah,
want
they
you to
just
raise
well, they
them.
want you to just raise them, or they just want you to, babysit them and leave.
They just don't want to see their kids right now. They're too.
Yeah.
He's just got so much energy. He needs to be in gymnastics.
I would really get frustrated when a kid clearly didn't want to be there and didn't want to be doing it.
Because then you'd be
the
like, you don't
parent
want to be
would
here,
just-
go home. And they would try to leave, but they couldn't.
Yeah, and I'd be like, why don't you tell your parents that you like want to do something else? And they go, I tell them all the time. And their parents just keep shoving them into it. Because they're like, because the alternative is like their kids like, I want to draw or something like that. And it's like, well, then go draw.
Yeah.
I
I would let those kids sit out. I'd
Yeah,
be
like
you
those-
don't want to be here.
Yeah, those
like-
are the kids like if you've ever been a coach, you understand when it comes to those kids, you just got to let them be.
If you let those kids sit down for a while, though, they see all the other kids having hella fun, and they're like, always join in the class eventually. Though.
I would always tell those kids, I go, I understand that you don't really want to be here. Just try and get something out of it.
Yeah.
That way, when you leave, you can be like, I learned something then.
I can do a backflip now and impress my friends.
Just like anything. I'm like, make a small goal.
Yeah.
You
And that's what I would do. I'd be like, I'll go for your goal. Like, you don't want to be here. You don't want to do
Yeah.
gymnastics. What do you want to do?
Yeah. I'm also not going to like drill that kid on his strength or anything
Yeah.
because I'm like, he doesn't care.
Right.
But the parents did. So yeah, so when it comes to coaching, I was always told that I was very good at it and I was patient and good at working with the kids. But in the long run, man, that was not something I wanted to do for the rest of my days. Not by a long shot.
I was
Yeah, I
not.
don't blame you.
I had no idea. I cannot. The problem is like didn't start at a really young age. Like I started at like 12 and I've already had trampolines. I was already doing backflips and like my grandpa was a gymnast, so he was already coaching me and like stuff. So it's like I was already like doing stuff. Like I didn't have to learn a cartwheel or anything
Right.
in a gymnastics gym with mats or anything. I just kind of learned it outside. And then I learned a backflip on the trampoline outside. And then I started gymnastics and it just took off from there. So when I have to coach level 1 tumbling and I have to teach kids a forward roll and a cartwheel and like, how can I learn an aerial? I would
Right.
just be like, I need a drill for this. What can I do? And like, I would just run around like a chicken with my head cut off. And then class would be over and we would have done 2 drills. Like,
Yeah.
And my coach would just sit there and shake my head. She's like, you hate this. I'd be like, yeah. She's like, you're too ADD. You can't even do 1 drill for more than 5 minutes. I'm like, I know, but it's
Like
just so
good
boring.
for recognizing, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the problem with me is everyone expected me to coach for a long time. Everyone that worked with me, they tried to get me into like head coaching positions and stuff because they were like, oh, you're good at this. Like you're going to do this for a long time. I'm like, this has never been what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I coached because it was convenient. I was in the gym all the time anyway because I was competing. So I said, why not coach that way? Like my hours are flexible with my competing
Yeah.
Right.
because obviously they understand. So that was my whole reason for coaching. Then as soon as I wasn't competing anymore, I was like, I got to get out of here.
That's why
I
most gymnasts coach too, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I ran away and joined the circus. You know?
My coach knew I was always going to do whatever I want, like all the time. Like at first, our gym was really like strict and more of like a team gym. Then it kind of slowed down a little bit, a little more rec. Team kind of got a little sloppy, but our coaches were still very like in that mindset of like, you need to listen to what I said, because they were team coaches and now we're a TNT team, like a new thing. So they were getting super mad at their kids because everybody was fucking up and people were quitting and crying and coaches were quitting and blah, 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 blah. And then they go and they like put that same seriousness into me. And I just came off of like elite tumbling, whatever, like classes doing like multiple back handsprings. So I was like level 7 now on team. Shh, quiet, love. And so they like came in right away and it was just kind of like, at first I was just like, geez, these people are mean. And then I was like, fuck it, I don't care. They're my coach for 2 hours a night. Like, what are they going to do to me? They don't control my life.
Yeah.
And I would just piss them off so much at competitions, not coming to morning practice. I'm like, I'm not coming to morning practice. I'm sleeping. Right. And they're like, if you do bad at this competition, like we're making your mom drive you here like every day for morning practice, 8 a.m. Like I'm waking up. And then I would win regionals and they'd be like, fuck. And I'm like, I'm going to do whatever I want, but I'm going to make sure I get my stuff done. Like,
Right.
it was like a week before nationals. I'm going to California. We have practice all week. Oh, no, I'm taking it off. I'm going to the beach. Super sunburnt. Elite challenge. nailed it. I was like, ah ha ha.
You were that kid that never had to study for tests and that just always.
Oh, I never
like,
did school. I
aced
did
them.
school and cheated. I was homeschooled too, so it was really easy. I was homeschooled and dyslexic and had 4 brothers and sisters. I like slid through that. I did like all my like testing to test out of everything. I made sure I could do everything enough to pass, and I got out.
Oh man. See, I struggled even just doing that during school, learning like just what I needed to pass. I mean, I guess technically I knew what I needed to get like a D, which I guess was technically passing, but to get a C in anything, a solid C in everything, it was just my grades reflected how much I studied, which was 0.
When I was like, I started high school. I started high school, and my mom's like, "How do you want to do high school? Like, what like classes do you want to take?" Because she has to make my transcript. So she's like, "What do you want? Like, what do you want? You need these for your transcript, and then what other classes do you want to take?" So I was just like, "I think this whole year I'm just gonna finish history for all 4 years." And she's like, "What?" I said, like, "Each year I'm gonna do that and finish all my classes like that. One year I might do 2 or 3 classes, but I'm just gonna do it like that." I finished in like 3 years. So then my 4th year, my senior year of high school, I just competed and worked. It was tight. Like every other weekend I was flying somewhere to compete. And
I basically did the same thing just in public school. By the time my senior year, I had gotten ahead so much on credits. By the time my senior year, I was doing 3 classes and then leaving and going to the gym. I was doing two a days and then competing and working and doing all that.
So convenient to get done with high school early. So pointless.
It's I hated grade school.
All of the older 3 of us got done with high school early. I technically graduated on time because I just waited until graduation. And then my sister and my brother, the older two, they both did last 2 years of high school and first 2 years of college.
Now, did you have like a ceremony or did you?
Yeah, there was like a ceremony with like
because
3
when you're
people.
homeschooled, there's still like dances and stuff too with other like
we had like a
homeschooled
whole
people, right?
homeschool group, the Las Vegas Eagles homeschool group, when it was cool. It's freaking lame now. It used to be really. It was so cool. It was such a fun group to hang out. Like being homeschooled, people are like, "How are you so cool and homeschooled?" It's like, well, we just were a bunch of.
I mean, you stay social.
Yeah, like we had social events. We all hung out all the time. We all got in trouble. We all got drunk together. We all smoked weed for the first time together. We all
that good shit.
Yeah,
it's always. I've noticed there's been a surge of homeschooling. Aside from, I know quarantine, there's been a lot of that happening, but I think as a result too of this quarantine, I think there's going to be a lot more people homeschooling their kids. And I think the reason why it wasn't happening before was just because I think there was a misunderstanding that things like the dances and the socializing with other kids was not happening.
Yeah, people always think of homeschoolers as like
you stay at home regardless, no matter what.
And like weird, like can't socialize with anybody.
Yeah, like you're
doesn't have
taking
any
your mom to
social skills.
prom.
And
Yeah.
honestly, even if you take away the physical contact with people and physically being in the room with them, nowadays, like with, just technology,
You're basically
FaceTiming and you
disconnected
can
anyway.
interact with people more and talk with people more. Like all of that is really going away. Like you can be isolated and still socialize with people.
People always say like this is like the worst year to be alive. All this shit's happening. This is the freaking best year to have a pandemic. Like sit in your house with AC, collect your unemployment, make podcasts, make TikToks, work out, go ride your bike, go order some food on your phone, sit down all day. When my great grandpa was in a depression, he ate grass and weeds to stay alive. He didn't Uber Eats BJ's and eat a Pizookie while he fucking watched Tiger King on Netflix.
That's what I was telling Adam. I told him, I go, this is almost a blessing because we got ahead on our podcast, our vlogs. We were able to like actually get writing done. We were able to work on stuff we've been meaning to work on without anything else being in the way. So I agree with you. Look at the fucking positives. Like this is not the depression.
Yeah.
I know people are in their
far
house
from.
depressed. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is a year vacation, a year fucking vacation. Dude. Take it. Do something fun. If you can't go back to work yet and things start to open up, go learn how to golf right now. Go book a tea time somewhere and just find a new hobby. Go do something. I don't know. Like
exactly. I've been learning piano again. I've been drawing and stuff.
It just it feels like everything just took a deep breath. Just
that's what it needs to feel like. People don't need to feel like it's like everything's on fire and we're gonna go out and like the rubble.
Well, and don't get me wrong, I
breath.
understand that there are some people that are struggling with like bills and everything like that, but at the same time, like it's one thing when it's something that's in your control. It's another thing when it's not, you know? So when you're in this position where you can't pay bills and everything because of the quarantine, well, tough shit. Thomas needs unemployment and can't get through unemployment, you know, along with like 12,000 other people. So what are we doing here?
Well, you have to remember it is still pandemic. Like, people are still going to have hard times. Like, things are closing. The government's shutting down and taking over. Like, there's going to be hardships in hard times. But it's still the best time to have hardships because if you don't have unemployment yet, you're probably waiting on it and you're going to get it back paid. They can't shut off your power. They can't evict you. So
there are payment plans for like apartment complexes and stuff.
They're really cool with us. Our company is doing like a promise to pay, just like word of mouth, not signing anything. Just like, it's hard times.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. There are plenty of understanding people out there, and guess what? The companies that have not been so understanding, they're the ones suffering the most right now. You know, because this shows a lot of true colors of a lot of different companies. You know, one big one being a company I used to work for, Nordstrom's. You know, all the other retail stores and everything like that were getting rid of employees right off the bat, like not offering incentive, all this stuff, and then Nordstrom, when they first let go of everybody, they said, we're still going to pay you for like 3 weeks. You know, even though you're not working, we're still going to pay you.
Well, the Win said they're paying all of their employees everything until this is over.
I heard that.
See, and I don't understand why more. I asked about that the other day too, because I was like, don't these casinos just have like, I get it's probably expensive to have a casino, but you're a fucking casino in Vegas.
I don't know how the casinos are paying their people, but we're through Cirque Du Soleil.
Right.
Like, so we're not paid by the casino.
Yeah. Whereas I wasn't implying such.
When they're just pointing out there, when their performers are paid by the Win.
Yeah. Right.
That's why they're able to keep
I was just
paying
talking about just any of the employees at any of the other casinos at all.
Yeah.
It's like if the Win is able to do it, there's no reason why the MGM can't do it or the Mirage can't do it.
They might be.
Especially because I'm pretty sure the Win is just local and MGM is like worldwide.
Yeah.
Like, they have money coming from everywhere.
I mean, they might. Have you heard anything about MGM paying employees or anything? I don't know anyone who
anything about it.
Works like in the casino exclusively.
I guess I'm just being like presumptuous, but the reason why I assume so is
because they very well
the first time I've heard.
Well, the casinos probably have unemployment insurance, so they're probably paying everybody.
Yeah, I assume all the casinos are
if you can
paying
get
their
through
people.
the employment, sure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we just don't get paid through the casino.
Yeah. But it's like you were saying, it's people are overreacting on all fronts.
It's each side. Everybody's over. There's overreactions on both sides. And
like I said, and there are times too. Thomas and I have discussed this where I get like discouraged because I just feel like, you know, I'm staying stagnant and shit, and then I just get reminded. It's like, well, everybo's stagnant right now. Nobody is moving.
Yeah.
So when nobody is moving, right now, you're not behind.
Except Florida and Texas.
Oh, in Georgia now too. Georgia wasn't Georgia like the first one to open?
Oh no, the Georgia governor's getting shit on because he opened back up.
Like just everything.
Yeah, it was like
really?
and then a bunch of people got sick and now they're trying to close stuff again. So that's where they're at right
Georgia's
now.
gonna riot.
Yeah, Georgia's not. Same thing. Michigan's not doing so hot right now either.
Jeez.
Well, and that's the argument they make, but it's like, well, yeah, people keep dying from other shit.
Yeah.
And you keep calling it fucking corona.
Yeah.
Like, that's why the death rates are going to go up.
And what's stupid, I think the stupidest part is that they're not giving everybody a test to see if you've already had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you have the antibody.
Testing's been a hot topic also.
Yeah. But you can do it. It's $180. To go test to see if you've had it.
All right, government, can you pay me my money so that I can go pay you guys to take the test?
My turn with it, your turn with it, yeah. But it's like, wouldn't it make more sense to send those out to everybody and be like, please take this test, send it back. Everybody who already has it in it, go have fun. Everybody who doesn't have in it, wait for the vaccine.
Right.
If they make a vaccine, or at your own risk, go outside.
And that's
your life.
I mean, that's what you see with all of this is, and that's why it kills me with people who are, like I said, bitching about the protesters. And again, I get some of them are idiots. I truly get that. But at the same time, it's like what we were just talking about with the visors. When stuff goes up, people don't just take them down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you go ahead and you let the government just tell you, you can't go to any of your places, you can't go to work, you can't do
Yep.
this. It's one thing for the companies to decide themselves, like we're going to listen to the CDC warnings and close down everything. It's another thing when the federal government gets involved and says, we're going to close down your state. You are now giving a lot of power to your government, and government, including our own, history shows they don't just fucking give back power to people. They take it, they keep it. And we see that time and time again. And now you're seeing this. You have states that aren't opening up and people are going, why? Other places are. And they can give whatever excuses they want, but it's still like, well, why?
Well, what you're going to have
You're not even giving us a date of when it might happen. You're just saying, nope, we're not doing it yet.
It's also a really bad time to try to take a lot of power from the people, because the freaking protests right now at Capitol buildings and everything that were happening prior, like, where was it? Everybody showed up at like some Capitol building with like
in Virginia.
with like
West Virginia, I
AR-15s
think,
and like.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I heard
Alarm.
some guy today scream at some cops, telling them that what they were doing is unethical, and they all run away. Some
Really?
Marine yelled at them for 10 minutes, and then they all like ran away. They were all like pushing people and like trying to get them back away from the Capitol building. 10 minutes, and the Marine talked to him and pretty much just called him a bunch of wussies and yelled at him and told him like, if you leave right now and lose your job, I'm friends with the sheriff. I'll get you a job at the sheriff's office. And people were like, he's right, and just like
just left.
Yeah.
See, and that's the it kills me. It's people need to understand that government is not good. You know, people need to stop thinking that even like I said, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you sit on. It like politicians are not out for you.
Yeah.
They're just not. And I'm sorry, Trump's not excluded from that. Anybody who's a Trumper out there, he's not excluded, because guess what? The second he got elected, he became a politician. And if you don't think there are certain concessions that Trump has taken, you know, for himself, like, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, whether you liked Obama or not, still another fucking politician.
Well, no, they're all in the same pool.
You know?
Everyone likes to talk about them all like they're different. Everyone's in the same pool.
But that's my point, though. It's we have to get to this point of like, stop trusting your government so much. It's like it's the same people who are about, you know, want people like Bernie Sanders or like a socialist or anything in office, or want more socialist policies, and then you see things like how unemployment is run, or people also have issues with cops, and it's like, well, these are things the government runs. Why do you want them to run more things?
Why you hate?
That's
you
the
hate the government, but you want the government. That's what I hear all the time.
Exactly. Well, that's the poetic. That's the poetic
Irony.
the poetic irony, especially behind just the phrasing of a free country. Being a country itself is being ruled over by someone or something or some entity. In this case, it's a House of Representatives, congressman, a president, so on and so forth. What was I saying? I just lost my train of thought.
Fucking politics is fucking stupid, and stop arguing over it. Like, you fucking know what's going on.
I just hate the argument of like, I want free stuff. Okay. 5 minutes later, I hate how much taxes they take out of my paycheck.
Well, oh no, that's what I was saying.
It's not free.
It's
Free,
just
free, free,
the
free.
fact that we have people looking over us at all, like, negates the fact that we're free, 100% anyway. And that's what I'm saying. And it is the same people preaching, USA, USA are the same people preaching like freedom, freedom. And it's like, all right, but we're walking that gray line now where is it freedom now if they start saying you can't say this, you can't do this. It's like, then where's my freedom at?
Well, and the people
that's where the dangerous point we're getting to is they're going to keep taking and taking, and eventually we're going to find that we've lost a lot of freedoms, and people are not going to be happy about it.
And unfortunately, that becomes the argument for a lot of the people who are not necessarily pro-socialism, but just more socialist policies, is because they look at that argument that you just gave and they go, well, we're so close to it anyway. Why not just make a couple more things run by the government?
Well, that's the slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope, exactly. But
and
you're
that's
right,
the
though.
thing too is if you just give people back everything at once, people are like, if you took a socialist country right now run by like a socialist overlord, and you took him out and you gave all the people the power, they would be so scared. Because you take power away and you tell people it's bad to do this, I do this. It's bad to do this, you can't do this, I'll do this. And then
Oh,
when they're like,
it's for
okay, now
sure a
you do it, it's like,
balance,
oh
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, people are gonna freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's for sure a balance, and that's the issue that everybody's
That's what
having
I'm
trouble
saying. Is
realizing
we're going
now.
a little
Yeah.
too far over that line now. Like we're always like we got to stay on that line. We got to keep that balance. And right now,
but in order to keep that balance, everybody has to find that middle ground, and nobody's willing to look
Yeah.
for it right
Everybody
now.
hates everybody right
and
now.
then, yeah, that's the problem right now.
But we can all agree everybody does hate China right now.
it's like going
All the
"Fuck
TikToks are a
Chinese."
little too savage. About China.
Oh my god. Well, on that note, I think we're at an hour here, so we'll go ahead and end this here.
For
But
sure.
thank you guys so much for listening to today's podcast. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on all the social media sites except for Twitter. I mean, I'm on there. I don't recommend it, but you know, if you want to follow me on Twitter, go for it. But anyways, Jake, where can people follow you?
Pretty much everywhere, but really just Instagram and TikTok at Acrobat Carter. That's Carder. Acrobat Carter.
We'll put that in the
95.
description, guys.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts, Thomas?
Guys, try and get outside of your house at some point. Get out, go running, exercise, ride a bike. You know,
If you can find one.
just get out, do something other than being cooped up in your homes.
And any final thoughts, Jake?
Ooh, final thoughts. Well, I do like that we ended the whole podcast on everybody hates China. That was kind of funny and ironic because I said that, and then you're like, all right, so we're an hour.
On that note,
Also, just stay positive, people. Don't get depressed in your house. Don't stay inside. Don't feel worthless. Time's just irrelevant. Have fun with it. Get fucked up
Words. Ooh.
or get sober. I don't know. Whatever you need to do.
you know what? Follow your heart on that one. All right, guys. Have a lovely day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Peace.